I'm going to try to do a totally different, open-minded review of some Marvel slop that is Ironheart. She's a villain and not meant to be a hero. Let's take a look, see what it brings us besides pain. That's right, friends. I am the man you may know as Z from Our Reviews Will Kill You, and I am here to talk a little bit about Ironheart. I did a full, I guess this is a full season review. I've seen all 6 episodes, clearly edited down from a much longer season, a lot of vamping, and it's a pretty strange show, if I do say so. This could be the worst thing they've ever put out, but I think it depends on perspective. I have watched every single Marvel thing. I watched Hawkeye. I've seen Echo. I've seen the Marvels. I've seen the Eternals. I've seen it all. Every single piece of Marvel. Even What If. And I've reviewed all of them. So you could take a look around because I will give you a review for each one. But there's something interesting and different about this one with Riri Williams. And before we look at anything, let me just break it down for you. There's going to be spoilers because it's the full season. But let me just explain to you the plot and what it looks like. So Riri Williams, Ironheart, was in Wakanda Forever, worked with the Wakandans, got a really awesome, powerful suit from them, and they said, nah, bro, you can't be trusted with this, so we're going to take it back. You don't get it. You go back to MIT where we found you, or the U.S. military found you, and you're immediately going, after being there for 5 years, because I forget if she was like a freshman in Wakanda Forever. I don't remember. But you're going to get expelled because you're helping other people cheat on their exams just to make a couple extra dollars, even though you created a thing that could find vibranium without ever having a piece of vibranium. You helped make an Iron Man suit, unless Suri made it. And then you went to MIT and made an Iron Man suit. But guess what? You made it on their money. It was their grants. Well, your grants, but you worked for them and they expelled you. So she steals the suit, which does not belong to her, flies it to her hometown of Chicago, where they immediately shut it off. Instead of calling the police, they just let her crash and steal the thing and take it home. She then decides that she needs money to rebuild the suit and make it better. She never explains why, other than she wants to be iconic. They could have explored a theme, which they kind of did, that she needs to surround herself in a suit of armor because she's so damaged emotionally from the things that happened to her, like her best friend and her stepfather being killed in a drive-by shooting. But they don't really explore that. They just kind of like let it sit there, and you're like, they keep asking her, why do you want to make a suit of armor, Riri? And she goes, I don't know, because I want to be iconic. All right. So as we continue on her journey, Iron Man, the famous line of, he made a suit out of scraps in a cave, from, funny enough, Mr. Stain, Obadiah Stane, I think that's his name, from Iron Man 1. We're going back 15 years, folks. This is the only real movie that this tied to, except for, like, maybe Doctor Strange, as far as, like, MCU properties, because they really don't even connect to Wakanda Forever, just barely. Anyway, Riri decides she's going to join a heist gang in order to get money to make her suit better. Again, spoilers. Even though at the very end of the show, she literally makes a suit out of her stepdad's car, just like scraps, just like Tony did, but it's cool. She's not smart enough, though, to make an arc reactor. Everybody else can make arc reactor. Well, not everybody, but like Tony was the real genius because he made the arc reactor. No one else can make that, including Riri, who thinks she's smarter than Tony Stark. And her suit runs off of, and I kid you not, solar power and wind energy. Yes. This was written into the script. So she joins this heist gang. So she is now officially a villain, getting paid to steal things from people, coerce them into signing contracts that are null and void because they were signed under force of threat. Makes no sense. There's so many stupid plot holes in the show. It's ridiculous. They're trying to. There's like an Elon Musk character, and she's got a tunnel for rich people to go like underground, just like Elon Musk with the Boring Company, where you take your rich fancy cars and you can avoid the traffic. So it won't unburden the rest of us driving, just rich people. She's never tested it before, but there are hundreds of cars using the system while she's testing it. Yeah, it's a thing. So anyway, Riri not only joins a heist gang and starts stealing things with an eclectic group of absolute miscreants, and she finds that the leader of the heist gang actually murdered one of the heist people that she replaced. She then murders the heist leader's best friend and mentor, the leader of the gang, who's possessed by some sort of cloak with evilness in it. So then she's a murderer and a villain who's stealing money, okay? And then at the very end of it, she builds a brand new suit. She also has this AI friend, which is irrelevant, which accomplishes almost nothing. Like her best friend who got killed, brings her back through AI, which is kind of immoral. The man that she's interested in flat out tells her that what you did was an abomination. You brought my sister back, and not only am I trying to bang you, who's my sister's best friend, but it's immoral and irreprehensible that you brought her back to life through this AI simulation thing. So she gets upset because they power her suit with magic, not an arc reactor. She doesn't get smart enough to figure out an arc reactor. No. She has to find a magic girl and fill the suit with black girl magic. And it flies. And is super powerful. And she instantly knows how to use magic, because as soon as she goes to fight the Hood, she can use a magic spell to, like, stop him or whatever. What we do find out is that all along the Hood was being manipulated by Mephisto, Marvel's version of the devil, who should have shown up in Agatha all along, but did not. And now, because they keep thinking the audience wants Mephisto, they hire newly divorced Sacha Baron Cohen. You may know him from such films as Borat. And he's supposed to be in the MCU as Mephisto. And he's okay, but he changes his American accent to a British one for no reason. I don't know. He's a great actor, don't get me wrong. He is a fantastic villain in that Will Ferrell movie about driving race cars with Shake and Bake, Talladega Nights. But this is just not doing it for me. So she, at the very end, she makes a deal with Mephisto, and that's where we end up. She, in fact, cuts a deal with the devil to bring back her AI best friend. So now she works for the devil. And I think I understand this on some level, but I think it was presented wrong, because we're expecting Ironheart to be like this replacement for Tony Stark and Iron Man. But in fact, she's so self-motivated, so self-interested that she fails at it. And there's good actors in this. And I really feel bad for... who's the lead girl in this? Dominique Thorne? Is that who she is? Pretty girl that they make her look so atrociously ugly in this. It's a sin. It's a crime against humanity. But they claim there's review bombing. I think people just don't like this because they don't understand. 82% on the critic side. You guys are insane. We'll look at some of their reviews. 49% on the fan side. Here's the mistake I think we're all making here, and I will try to give a little bit of credit where credit is due. If you look at this poster, does it look like the poster of a hero? It does not. It looks like the poster of a villain, that she's being manipulated by the suit and her desires, and possibly something possessing the suit. So maybe we should give Riri Williams and Ironheart a little bit of a break. If she turns villain, kind of like Wanda did, maybe that's more interesting than we all gave it credit for. So I'm not saying I hate this. I'm not saying it's good because it's poorly written and not very interesting and it's a lot of poor acting. But there might be something here. Let's look at some of the reviews. The season carries a subtext of deeper emotional meaning and thematic importance despite the weak supporting cast, plot holes, and ambiguous ending. Yes, every single one of the heist crew is a token stereotype, which is ridiculous. Here's Ironheart is the least iconic show I've ever wasted my time watching. It's thankfully only 6 episodes long, but it was an endurance test to sit through. It's a narrative mess with an unlikable lead and premise so stupid it's perfect for Disney+. This is ridiculous. Aaron Hill's from that shelf. Ironheart is another example of Marvel returning to what it does best, telling character-driven stories. Across 6 episodes, it centers entirely on Riri Williams. By the end, you'll want to follow her into whatever adventure comes next. How many more people is she going to murder? That's what I'm interested in. Ironheart should be a slam dunk. And why are we taking these female leads and turning them into murderers? I don't really think I understand what's going on here. Confusing. Overall, it seems like the critics get that she's an anti-hero, if not villain. Overall, Ironheart is a refreshing new anti-hero with enough passion and swagger to overcome the more predictable elements of the plot. Some excellent cliffhangers mean that there's certainly more to come from this flawed genius, and that's no bad thing. It's super strange because I do like... It's weird. I like some of the actors. I like Dominique Thorne. I liked Anthony Ramos. I liked Manny Montana was good, and Alden Ehrenreich. All the rest of the supporting cast is pretty trash. Her mom, the boyfriend, all the members of the gang, blood sibling, get the hell out of here with that nonsense. Dominique's not that bad. Anthony Ramos, miscast. Not bad, but miscast. Good actor. Manny Montana, really well cast. Underutilized. And then Alden Ehrenreich, great actor. Unclear as to where he's going. By the way, he's the son of Obadiah Stane. So, confusing to say the least. It's just poorly written. But I think there was a kernel of something good here. And I think they missed their opportunity, which makes me a little disappointed and sad, more than that. So for someone who rants about all this and says how much I hate all of this, I like the idea that she's a villain, but they didn't set it up properly. And maybe she has a redemption arc. And maybe that's what all the other people are missing, is this poster, and I'm not kidding you, sells the idea she's a villain. Am I wrong? Tell me in the comments below, because I think I've nailed this one. And I know you didn't watch it, and I'm glad I gave you a summary. But now that you think that she's a villain, and it's her villain origin story, like Wanda's villain origin story, which most of us did like in WandaVision, maybe it'll change your mind a little bit. And like I said, give the actors a chance. They deserve zero of the blame. It is poorly written, though. Do not get me wrong. But the concept might work. And I appreciate it. I have tons of Marvel rants. You can check them out. I love all y'all. Thank you so much for checking this out. I do appreciate it. Like and subscribe. You know, I always have to remind people to do that. Like and subscribe because it helps. The channel allows me to keep doing this, allows us to have our podcast Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, iTunes, Rumble, all those other great places, and here live on YouTube. You love it. We love you. But I'm on to the next one.
Thanks for catching the video. Be sure to join our channel to get the education you deserve. Make sure you check out our shorts, live streams, and catch us on all the socials. Don't forget to like and subscribe.